Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. It's another beautiful day and another episode of One on One's Workforce Edge Live. Today, I have with me Kellye-Rae Campbell. She is the group head of privacy, AI, and data governance at the Digicel group. And we're going to be talking about a hot topic that I know many of you are interested in. We're going to be speaking about the AI readiness check, how to know if your business is prepared. So before you try to adopt AI into your business processes, into your strategy and everything that you're doing for your business, are you really ready to use AI? That's what we're going to be discussing today. Thank you so much, Kellye-Rae, for joining us. And I'm looking forward to a great discussion with you today. So before we dive into the questions, remember this is a 15-minute conversation, everybody. So it's going to be very rapid fire as we go through the discussion questions. But I'd love to know where our audience is joining us from. Are you joining us from Jamaica, another Caribbean island, another country outside of the Caribbean? Let us know in the comments. Also, let us know which parish you're joining us from. If you're joining us from Jamaica, let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. So, Kellye-Rae, let's dive into the discussion. The first question I have is, when businesses say they are ready for AI, what should they actually mean when they say that?
When a company is saying or comes and says, I'm ready for AI, I think a lot of the times they come and they confuse being able to buy or purchase an AI system with actually having the organizational readiness. I would say an organization is ready when it understands where AI can actually genuinely bring or create value within their organization. They can determine this by, has the information or the processes, do they have the information or the processes necessary to support the AI system that they want to bring on? Before asking questions like, what AI tool should I be buying? They should be asking, do we understand our people? Do we understand the processes we need AI in? Are there certain problems we're having that we're trying to improve? Is our information reliable enough to support an AI infrastructure? Can we integrate with AI based on the current information and processes we have? Are we able to govern it appropriately once it's introduced? Can we execute it? Can we pilot it? Can we measure, the outcomes? So it's more about having the organizational capability to utilize it deliberately rather than just simply having access to it and spending the money on it.
And you mentioned a while ago people and processes and the importance of evaluating those. So I think the next question I should ask is, why is it important to assess data, processes, people, and governance before scaling AI?
So data, information, governance are all critical parts of any AI readiness program. AI inherits the environment that you put it into. So if you have unreliable data, then you're going to be producing unreliable outputs. If your processes are poorly designed, then the AI itself is going to reproduce those unreliable outputs, right? If or reproduce those wrong processes. So you're going to automate all those wrong processes that you have. If your employees don't understand the technology, you haven't garnered from your employees just what systems work and what doesn't, that is going to be reflected in whatever digital transformation, be it AI or something else. And so it's important that you pay attention to those data processes and people. And then finally, if your governance is weak, if you don't have a proper foundation, you may not be able to discover certain problems until they've already affected your business, your customers, your employees, It depends on how your what kind of AI system you're using. But
Mm-hmm.
even worse, you might run into certain legal and regulatory problems if it involves personal data. I know that there's generally a temptation to just say, "Oh, um, we have a shiny new AI toy," or someone has shown us this new AI toy. Let's
Right.
kind of go with it. I really recommend going into the organization first, assessing and identifying where intelligence lies,
Mm-hmm.
where automation could materially improve your current processes, and then determining what technology belongs there rather than finding a technology and trying to make it fit. But yeah.
Yeah, that's a good response. And I think the best next question to ask is what is the difference between an AI readiness assessment and an AI systems risk assessment?
All right. So AI readiness deals with strategy. It's broader.
Mm-hmm.
And then AI risk is deals with the appropriateness of a particular system for a particular purpose. So
Mm-hmm.
if I were to give you an example, AI readiness says, is our organization ready and capable to take on AI systems? Or
Mm-hmm.
have we established an environment where we can deploy AI responsibly? And
Mm-hmm.
then an AI risk assessment now looks particularly at at a system. Say you want to incorporate a particular system, and it's asked, should we be deploying this particular AI system for this purpose, and under what conditions should we be deploying it to ensure that we're keeping it, we're impacting the business with as little risk as possible, and
Mm-hmm.
we are ensuring that it's compliant. So readiness is asking, are we prepared for AI in general? A risk
Mm-hmm.
assessment is asking, is this particular AI in this context the AI that we should be using in a compliant way that allows us to maintain governance?
I like those definitions. And what kept popping up in my head is that a lot of the businesses in the Caribbean are small businesses. And from what you're saying, there's a lot of assessment that's required and a lot of analysis to determine whether an organization is truly ready. But for a small business owner who is, has so many things on his plate and who has a small team doing a million and one things, and they just want to get their AI tool in to make things just move more quickly and all of that. What would you say to someone like that about actually doing an AI readiness check?
So what I'd say is that the fact that they're asking for an AI readiness check is definitely the first and most important place to start, because it
Mm-hmm.
means they haven't gone out and found a tool and said, I want this, because I saw the demo and it looks good and it can benefit me. They've
Mm-hmm.
actually gone in and said, these are the problems. They're trying to see where their organization is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they're trying to assess the strategy, the skills, the processes,
Mm-hmm.
the information architecture, and the maturity. Are you mature enough in terms of governance?
Mm-hmm.
And so if they're asking those questions first, then it's the right place to start. And what I would say is, where are the problems in your organizations?
Mm-hmm.
Where are the processes that exist, whether formally, but then an informal process exists because the people on the ground know that it doesn't make sense to send this form to that person in this way. The better way to do it, the more efficient way, although the policy says that is to do Y. And
Mm-hmm.
so do you have a sound understanding of your organization and where the problems lie? Once you've identified that, you've identified who's responsible for what, you have some kind of accountability framework on certain decisions that are made. Um, and you understand your information infrastructure, where information and data lies,
Mm-hmm.
then you can begin to say, okay, these are the problems and this is what needs to be automated. This is where AI could perhaps help us out. And then you go looking for solutions to fit your particular environment. And then once you've now identified a solution,
Mm-hmm.
you can now delve into the AI systems risk assessment. And at that point in time, you should, I hope, would have had a partner helping you to establish some kind of accountability and governance framework, so
Mm-hmm.
that in the assessment of that system, once it comes on board, fits within an overall environment governance framework that you would have hopefully established during your AI readiness stage.
Awesome. And leading from that, what mistakes do businesses make when they rush into AI adoption without proper assessment?
There's so many businesses um, that companies can make. So again, I talk about the solution first adoption, which is just buying the AI,
Mm-hmm.
um, and then looking for a solution, right? Well, looking for a problem. So buying the AI, which is the solution, and then looking for a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Another one that I've seen is rushing out of the pilot stage. So, for example, you again, a shiny new toy, someone pitches to you, you go through a pilot and it looks good in the pilot,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it's in their sandbox environment. It's a very compelling demonstration, but it's not necessarily the same result when when it's introduced to your business environment, because
Right.
it doesn't have, the business case wasn't adequately established.
Mm-hmm.
There Another one would be the ignoring, your data and information architecture. Deploying AI, and then only after it's deployed you realize that, boy, the ways in which you were collecting data um, didn't necessarily wasn't necessarily accurate. So you have a lot of data there that is unstructured, um, fragmented. You
Mm-hmm.
can't find all the information you have. The little information you have is incomplete, and
Mm-hmm.
so the AI, you're not necessarily in a position where you can utilize AI to its best, to its optimum.
Right.
Um, and then governance, it would be remiss of me not to mention governance.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Deploying AI in a governance-less state where there is, no assessments happening.
Mm-hmm.
You're not ensuring that you're checking for accuracy, for privacy, where personal data is involved, for bias and fairness, where it impacts persons, um, for transparency and explainability. For security, you haven't done the proper assessment from a technical perspective, ensuring
Mm-hmm.
those risk assessments happen
Mm-hmm.
um, at the forefront of the introduction of any kind such transformation project.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree. And the question that came to my mind a while ago is, with all of that, it sounds like every business needs to have a data protection officer. You need to have a dedicated person to govern.
Once you're dealing with personal data, which all businesses in some way or the other, once you have employees, you're gonna be handling at least their personal data.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't say all businesses need it, because you have some businesses that really, the amount of data they interact with is very little,
Oh.
personal data. And so if it is that you're not interacting with a lot of personal data and it is low risk data that you do have access to, then you may not need one,
Mm-hmm.
not a dedicated person. You're going to need the services of someone to come in, do that assessment, and help you to remain compliant, particularly in territories with data protection legislation. But in
Mm-hmm.
terms of a day to day dedicated person, I think it's those high risk and high volume data controllers and data processors that would need a dedicated person.
Person. Okay. All right. So we're only doing a 15-minute conversation. So we're going to close out by talking about a practical step that organizations can take. So, what is one practical first step organizations can take to begin assessing their AI readiness?
Look for problems.
Mm-hmm.
Where are the problems in your organization? Look for the problems, ask, and by asking your people, what are
Mm-hmm.
the issues you're having currently? Um, are and understanding where those problems can impact either, revenue or efficiency or operational efficiency.
Mm-hmm.
Asking your people what are the problems and understanding the processes behind those
The
problems.
problems.
So
Mm-hmm.
once you have an idea of that, then you can also get into the information. So it's talking to your people.
Mm-hmm. Talking to your people. A lot of business owners actually don't talk to their people, and they don't talk to the right people either in the organization. It's so important to talk to your people, find out what's
Talk to your
happening.
people and understand, because there are a lot of the times a lot of issues that might be impacting the overall organizational success
Mm-hmm.
lies in the details and the little things that can very easily be automated, but we
Right.
don't, because we're not talking to our people. So understanding, going to the people, understanding, hey, what's happening,
Mm-hmm.
where are the problems, what are the processes that you currently have, and
Mm-hmm.
it's very good when you can map those processes, and kind of formulate, how, what are the systems that currently exist, whether they're manual or automated now, within your organization, and just how it works. So it's just talking to your people, understanding what's going on in the organization before introducing anything else, understanding and identifying the problem before going for the solution.
Love that. Love that. Thank you so much, Kellye-Rae, for your time and for sharing your insights in this 15-minute
No
speed
problem.
conversation. And before we go, everyone, I'm just going to share our upcoming, just give me a minute. I'm going to share our upcoming workshop. We have an AI readiness workshop that's coming up soon. I hope you can see it on the screen because I'm not seeing it here. But, anyways, you'll see it on our LinkedIn and our social media profiles. But we have a free AI readiness workshop that's coming up on September 9. And it's going to be from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And it's going to be led by Kimon Singh Anderson. She's a data protection and IT. She's a data protection and IT consultant. She's going to be discussing what it means to be truly ready for AI, key areas to assess before adopting AI, how to identify and manage risks in AI systems, and how to build a responsible and future ready organization. So, we really would love for you to sign up your employees, register your team for this important workshop. Thank you so much again, Kellye-Rae, for being
No
here.
problem.
We appreciate your insights and we hope that you have a lovely day. Thank you so
All
much.
right. You too. Have a good one.
I'll just end the stream.